Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm going to adjust my screen here, make sure everybody can see me. Um, Welcome to College Rodeo 101, our alumni profile. We've kind of morphed from talking to colleges and highlighting their college rodeo programs to now talking to some alumni that have been through the ranks, that have college rodeo, that have either gone to school to rodeo or rodeoed to go to school, whatever that looks like for everybody. We're kind of getting a little bit of background on lots of um, different avenues. So I'm super excited today to have Miss. I every time I think of you, it's Nikki Steffes. However, we have all transitioned a little bit, but Nikki Hansen has joined us, alumni from the University of Wyoming, and I mean, so I was out of the ranks by the time you came in, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of thankful for that. So I didn't actually have to compete against you.
Thank you.
Um, but I definitely saw you. I mean, I wasn't traveling to the regional rodeos, but I saw you at the college finals compete every year that you were here, because that was after I had moved back to Casper and was then volunteering for the college finals. So um, almost listen, I know that nobody likes to hear other people talk about them, and you definitely are humble enough to not talk about yourself. So I'm just going to do it for a little bit. If y'all were lucky enough to watch Nikki compete in the event center and during the college finals and during her college rodeo career, um, the most consistent person that I have had the privilege of watching, just able to put together a smooth run, be it barrel racing, breakaway roping, goat tying, lip. Truly a fan for sure, but just an amazing competitor as well. So thank you again for joining us. As we talked a little bit off camera, see, I
Yeah.
told you the phone
That's why I
always
shut mine
rings,
off.
always. It always rings. It's just inevitable. And then the answering machine's going to pick up.
It's all right.
Yep. Oh, good. Somebody answered it. That's even better. So now I can't remember where we were. Anyways, so I'm super excited to have you here. As we talked off camera a little bit, so many things have happened since. I don't know. I feel like so many things have happened and do happen once your college career ends. Um, you don't know it then, but like everything else, kind of the world is your oyster, which is such a cliche thing, but so many things still to come. And I feel like so many like I don't know, I almost feel like kids and young adults get wrapped up in their college career and don't really understand like there's so much more to come. So I want to talk before we get to that, what has come for you. Let's talk a little bit about college rodeo and college for you in particular. Um, Again, I know this is kind of repetitive for us because we've talked about it off camera, but talk to me about, I guess, tell me about what you did academically in college first, and then we'll kind of touch on the other stuff.
Well, thank you for all the kind words. I loved college rodeo. I was so excited you asked me to do this because I'm so passionate about college rodeo and just the lessons I learned, the time that I spent at the University of Wyoming, like it just shaped my life. And I am just, I love college rodeo. So thank you for asking me. Thank you for the kind words. But I went to college at the University of Wyoming and I double majored in molecular biology and medical microbiology. And knew as I was getting ready to graduate from high school, that would have been 2005, seems like yesterday, but knew that I wanted to go on to some kind of professional school in healthcare. Always been passionate about medicine, healthcare. So I looked more towards the four-year schools and had it narrowed down to the University of Wyoming and also Montana State, and ended up picking Laramie, and so thankful for that. Those 5 years that I spent there were some of the best, and still have great friends from there that rodeo and don't rodeo, and so yeah, I loved the University of Wyoming. It's a great place to go to school, as you know.
So it's so unheard of. I feel like um I don't know, the only time we really learn about what student athletes, what college rodeo and student athletes are going to school for is when they're backing in the box at the CNFR, right?
Yeah.
Because you fill out this bio sheet before once you qualify, you fill out this bio sheet and what your major is. And, um, you hear ag business a lot. I mean, I think that's a common theme, but what is not common is molecular biology. And so not only that, but the double major is it's crazy. So talk to me about the class load for those degrees in the double major, and then how you balance that and be so competitive in your region and in at a national level too.
Well, I didn't set off planning to major in molecular biology. I always loved science. Always been passionate about that from the time that I was little. I mean, kindergarten, first grade, science was always my favorite subject. And so went to school in Laramie, and I took a general microbiology class, and my professor's name was Rachel Watson. She ended up becoming my advisor, and that her class, general microbiology, just totally, it was something I was very passionate about. I loved every minute of her lectures, loved the lab time, and then asked her later, I said, would you help me? She also was the coach for the cross country ski team in Laramie. And so she kind of understood the student athlete side of it. And I said, would you mind helping me? Would you be my advisor and help me, get this degree? And so, yeah, that's kind of how it came about. She helped me pick my classes. It was very intense workload. I, had to take physics 2 and all the way to calculus 2. And, some things I didn't necessarily sign up for, like loving science. And then, you have to take a lot of other very intensive classes. But one thing I will say that I learned is to ask for help, like the professors there, and I'm sure every college, because you don't become a professor if you don't love teaching, just to ask for help and spend time in their office hours. And, calculus 2 is maybe the most difficult class that I took. And Mr. Daniels, still remember him too. I mean, I spent like every week I would be in his office hours having him help me. And I don't remember a thing from that class, but I do remember how much he helped me. And I think that all professors, and especially kids in college now, are going to college, if they see you trying and putting forth effort, like they will help you just as much. And that was huge for me. And then just, open communication with my professors. Hey, our college rodeo season is starting, and I'm going to be busy with practice on such and such days. We have, I have a test this week, but we're also rodeoing in Lamar.
How can we do this?
Is it okay if I take the test early? Can I come take it in your office? Can I, just giving them a head, not, the most important thing is not showing up. Like make sure you're there, showing, them that you're working hard and trying to make it happen. And then just asking for help. Professors, they're amazing. They really are, especially if they see you trying hard, they're going to help you just as much. But I think for me, I loved school as much as I loved rodeo. I didn't want to miss a lecture just because I loved learning, which that sounds totally nerdy, but I'm fine with that. And I guess as far as also, competing in school, I had great time management skills. And I think that was one of the biggest things was just making a schedule for the week. And I'm going to spend, 9 to 11 in the library and noon to 5 at practice. And then just sticking to that schedule, which sometimes that's not the easiest thing to do, but right. Trying to. So,
right.
Yeah.
So what did you may have already said this, but I was trying to get hooked up on Facebook on my phone just in case we had any questions. I'm waiting for Taylor to show up with all his list of questions.
I know. I'm hoping that he didn't get the time change down correctly.
Yeah, because he has moved. Maybe he'll miss it.
Yep.
So what did you graduate with? What degrees did you graduate with?
molecular biology and medical microbiology.
So you did finish it. I mean, I think one of the things that is common is you start with good intentions and then something changes or something changes. So that's cool. I'm glad that you did that. So what are you, I guess, what does that mean for you now with those 2 degrees?
Well, right now I'm just a really educated barrel racer. Um, but I actually, after I graduated from the University of Wyoming, I applied to dental school and was accepted to several different schools and ended up choosing the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. And about that same time, I had a couple of very special barrel horses come into my life and ended up qualifying for the national finals in 2012 and was also supposed to start dental school then. So they let me defer for a year. And then it kind of came down to I needed to make a decision. Was I going to go to dental school or continue rodeoing? And that was a huge life decision, one that I mulled over for months. And in the end, decided to choose rodeo and barrel racing and training horses, and which is, a pretty risky decision to make. But once again, I just followed my passion, and I've always been so passionate about horses, training, not just rodeo. I mean, I love rodeo too. I love all the challenges of it, the entering, the traveling, just it will test you to your, I mean, it's not for the faint of heart, and I love it. But it's not just rodeo. I love training and just all aspects of rodeo and ranching. And so that was the decision that I made and let my spot go in Lincoln at dental school. And, I often think how different my life would be now. And I don't regret that decision at all. I would say that, I probably would have worked, they both would be very, very hard work, but there's times when horses get hurt or, stuff happens and I think, oh, I wish I would have been a dentist, but that doesn't happen very often. And I think the biggest thing, like for me, just following my passions has always been what's kind of geared me the direction that I wanted to go. And if you're passionate about something, all the work you have to put into it, it's really not work.
It's not work. Yeah, definitely. So now, is that something that you foresee yourself coming back around to? I mean, that's not off the table.
No, it's not. And actually since then, so I gave up my spot to dental school, and then I actually started the physician assistant program through the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks, and finished all my science classes then, and loved that aspect, just the whole body health. I love dental school too, but I've always just been passionate about medicine. And so finished my science classes there and just have my clinicals left. But in the middle of PA school, I got pregnant with my daughter, Elsie. And so I just wanted to enjoy the time with her and stay home with her. And so I would say that if I come back to anything, it would be that, finishing my clinical hours and finishing that physician assistant degree. But yeah, I'm every day is so busy that I think, how would I even fit that in? But but the most important thing for me, especially graduating from the University of Wyoming, is having that degree, because horses get hurt, things happen, people get hurt, injuries, life changes, and just having that degree to fall back on, that really it opened up so many doors. Dental school, PA school. I actually took my MCAT too, never did apply to medical school, but I was ready to if I wanted to. And so yeah, I think just education is so important. And I really have to thank, at the time, George Howard was the coach in Laramie, and our team, our women's team, we won a lot. We won 2 national championships and had several individual national champions. But to George, like, the most important thing was getting our degrees. And like 2 of my great teammates, Sarah Mulholland, she's a nurse practitioner in Gillette, and Tanae Carroll, she's a physical therapist. So, it was just as important to George that we were successful out of the arena than in the arena. And Yeah.
That's cool. So let's talk a little bit about, I mean, you mentioned the birth of your daughter,
Mhm.
and I know now you have a son, which is
Yeah.
also, man, boys are different. Our boy is
Yeah.
different for sure. Um, but let's talk a little bit about, uh, we talked about the changes that you go through. Like, let's talk
Mhm.
about that. Has it been has it been what you thought it would be? Um, I guess to rodeo, to still be rodeoing and now have these two kids that you're kind of have in tow with you. I mean, talk to us about I don't know, the differences. Like, clearly there's very evident differences, but also like how it challenges you more and kind of the changes now that you have these two kiddos with you.
Well, I would say it's definitely more challenging. Right before Elsie was born, a good friend of mine told me, you can do everything you wanted to do before, you just have to pack more, which
Yes.
is true in a sense, but it makes it much more challenging. I think the toughest thing for me has been I have always been a very structured person, like had a schedule every day. This is what I'm going to do. This is when I'm going to do it. You know, going back to Laramie, having my schedule. I mean, I had it scheduled down to the hour of when I was going to get
Right.
everything done, and that doesn't really work with kids. They kind of go on their own schedule, so I don't do that anymore. I don't put those expectations on myself. My only goal for the day might be to get, 2 horses rode and maybe a load of laundry, and then, not anything like what I did 15
Hmm.
years ago. But I also know that that time is short, and I don't want to miss out on any of that time with Elsie and Hugh. I was very fortunate that I got to rodeo and go to the NFR. And I mean, that's a lifelong dream for anyone that rodeos.
Hmm.
And to do that in my early 20s, and now I have no regrets. I'm totally fine with not, with circuit rodeoing, or maybe, going to a few of my favorites like Casper or Cheyenne, getting to a few bigger rodeos. But it just it's my priorities have changed, I guess I could say. I think there is a fly on my
Yes, there
camera.
was.
Oh my gosh. Um,
The cold snap didn't do it.
I know the my priorities have changed in the sense that it's barrel racing's not necessarily the most important thing at the end of the day. It's the time spent with my kids and my family, and I feel so fortunate to have them, and also I have a huge support system. uh,
Mhm.
my in-laws, Alfred's parents, live just right across the road. They help me so much. Grandma Buddy's watching my kids right now, so I can talk to you.
Yay,
And
grandma.
yeah, and also my parents, they help a lot too, and sisters, aunts. Just we
Hmm.
have the best family, and that makes it their huge help. But there are times when the kids just want their mom, and when that happens, everything else kind of
Everything else
stops.
stops. Yep,
Yeah.
for
Yep.
sure, for
But
sure.
I know that I'm going to turn around and we're going to be high school rodeoing, and maybe Elsie's going to be going to Laramie, and I'm going to think like, what in the world
Oh my
happened?
gosh. Yes,
Yeah.
I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. So, let's talk a little bit about the current situation. I mean, obviously the Casper Rodeo is canceled. Have you done a lot of rodeoing this year? Have you just been kind of sticking close to home?
I haven't done a bunch. I've gone to some circuit rodeos, and I've been very fortunate to live in the Dakotas, where, things really haven't slowed down that much here.
Hmm.
We've had a few cancellations, but still had quite a few rodeos. And I'm kind of going through a more of a transition in my barrel racing career, I guess you could say. My husband's family, the Hansens, they have bred and trained some of the best horses in the world, and have always raised great horses. So we have so many young horses that I've kind of been transitioning more to the futurity um,
Hmm.
scene and training young horses, and that's been a huge learning curve for me as well. I've always felt like I was, a decent horse trainer, but there's so much to learn. Like
Yeah.
there's just so much, and it's it's interesting how horses, especially young horses, like one day just feel like the best trainer in the world and everything's going great. And the next day I'm like, what am I doing out here? Like,
I
oh
feel
my
like you just
gosh.
described my parenting
Well,
like to a T.
yeah, well, that too. That happens quite frequently to me also. So yeah, I'm kind of transitioning more to the fraternity, young horses, and probably slowing down on my rodeo,
Mhm.
which I love rodeo. That's what I've grown up doing, and but it gets difficult with two young
Right.
kids that are, it won't be long and Elsie will be in school, and then the rodeo will be even more difficult. So yeah, so the coronavirus, it's kind of, yeah, it kind of has just, that's kind of the direction my life was going, was less rodeos anyway. So
Right.
things being canceled just made it easier, because then I wasn't like, oh, I really want to go to Casper, even though I have all these colts to ride. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So you talked a little bit, what is your son's name?
Hugh,
Hugh. So
HGH, yep, Hugh Darrell.
gotcha. Gotcha. So he was actually born in February. So
Yep.
we talked about this off camera, but I think it's really interesting. I know a handful of women that kind of were pregnant or gave birth through this time. Was that difficult? Was it scary? I mean, kind of talk to me about your feelings on that.
Well, he was born in February, so kind of right before
Just
the
before.
coronavirus. The when we came home from the hospital, they were just starting to talk about it in China, and I was one of the people that were like, "This is just the media making a big deal about it, and it's not that big of a thing." And then
Mhm.
it just kind of escalated, and
Yeah.
by the middle of March, end of April, I mean, we were, quarantined like the rest of the world. Although
Mhm.
that's also during calving for us. So really,
It wasn't anything
in this
different.
part of the world, everybody self quarantines anyway because they're so
Yeah.
busy with calving. Um, but yeah, so it has been. I think for me right now, it's a lot of what is the right thing to do. I mean, it's scary, but do we hide out in our houses forever? I mean, I've still been going to rodeos, and went to Rapid this last weekend, and um but I wouldn't say I necessarily go to a bar with, I didn't go to any concerts during the rally at the Buffalo Chip or anything like that.
Mhm.
It's just a lot of, what's the right thing to do? I don't know. And
Yeah.
I
So
really
many personal
feel,
choices.
yeah, I really feel for parents with kids going to school, and my niece Letty, she just started school and she's so excited. She loves riding the bus, and just the whole atmosphere of school.
Mhm.
And I did too. I mean, there was never a day that I didn't want to go to school. And so I just hope that everybody gets to stay in school, because it's such a um, just life is just,
Yeah.
it's, you learn so much about life through school. I think it's so important, and you
Well, and
don't
there's
get those
so many
same.
milestones that,
Yes.
I mean, and we talked about this off camera. I did a little bit, and I use the term so loose. Like I did a little bit of teaching, when I needed to at the beginning of the year, and that is not the role I play. I'm not good
Yeah.
at it. My kids don't respond well.
Hmm.
So, my children will be going back to school. They will start school on Wednesday, and honestly, the longest summer of my life, I feel
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. It's
We've been in
been
summer
hard.
since March. Um, and I mean, it's hard. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are feeling the same way. And so,
Mhm.
our kiddos will go back here in Casper. They're going to go back. They have to wear masks. I've tried to make it as easy as I can. I'm going
Mhm.
to preface this with, I don't sew very well,
Yeah.
but I have made
I don't at
masks.
all.
I
Yeah.
had to make Owen something with a tractor and Reagan something with colors and unicorns. Like if
That's
they're gonna have to wear them, they better be cool.
Yeah.
I don't
If
know if
I
they're
was in your
cool.
position, I would have got on Amazon
Yeah.
or called one of the grandmas, because I wouldn't
Yes.
even have attempted it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's taken me forever, but they have a handful of masks, so it'll be interesting. I'm
Yeah.
excited that they're going back to school.
Yeah.
Owen will be starting kindergarten. I mean, they don't at this point, like he doesn't even know what he doesn't know. And
Yeah.
so it's super exciting. I've talked, and this has given us a really good opportunity. Owen doesn't really know or care what's going on in the world. But Reagan is a little bit older. She
Mhm.
wants to know what's going on. So it's been great. It's been nice to be at home with the kids,
Yeah.
and I'm looking forward to school starting.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Looking forward
Well, so I super appreciate you joining us. I
yeah.
love that. I think it's really important for oftentimes once you get past, times like that in college rodeo and college in particular, you kind of just keep going, and very rarely do you really have an opportunity to kind of reflect on um, that time in your life and maybe what that time in your life did for
Yeah.
you now. And so
Yeah.
I think it's great. I also am really passionate about college rodeo, obviously,
Yeah.
kind of doing all of this stuff, not really for anything, but really to help promote college rodeo and what it
Mm,
has done for me, but also the opportunities that has provided for so many other people. So I thank you for your
absolutely.
time.
Yeah.
Um, Before we go, I am working on scheduling some more people. I've had a lot of people reach out, a lot of coaches tell me like, "Hey, this guy graduated from my school. You need to have him on."
Yeah.
And so I encourage people to reach out and keep giving me ideas and tips and who you want to talk to, and if we have any questions. I appreciate people joining us live. I appreciate everybody watching it, watching the playback. It's just something that's passionate that I am passionate about. That's really kind of I don't know. It's a big part of my life and kind of where I'm at now.
Yeah.
I don't have an opportunity to continue to rodeo. Things kind of changed for us, and it's really hard to get back to it. Although now that my daughter is older, she has shown a little bit of interest. So hopefully,
Yeah.
she can't ride by herself. I need to have a horse too. So
Exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
I'm
And
holding on
then
to
pretty
that.
soon, like horses, they expand exponentially.
Yes, I
Like
can't
you
wait.
don't just get a couple, like pretty soon you have two, and then the next thing you know, you have 20. And you're like, I don't know what happened. I don't know where
I
they came from.
Yeah,
Yep.
something's wrong.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So, again, thank you so much, Nikki. I
Well,
appreciate
thank
our talk.
you
I
for
look
having
forward to
me.
seeing you next time you're in Casper. You'll have
Yes,
to look us up. We
I
have
will.
plenty of room for horses,
Thank
and
you.
we have
Thank you.
plugins, so that's even better.
Yes.
Again, thank you guys so much for watching us live. Special shout out to Cinch Jeans. They have started supporting me to be able to bring this information to you and keep doing these profiles. So I'm very grateful for their partnership. And I appreciate everybody watching and tuning in. Please share. Again, if you know somebody or you have someone in mind that you think I should have on our alumni profiles, please reach out. And if you are a college coach and we have not profiled your rodeo program, please give us a call. We definitely are willing to bounce back and forth on that and would love to profile what you all have going on there. So without further ado, obviously you all know by now that I could probably talk for another 30 minutes pretty easily. So I'll go ahead and cut this off, and we will catch you guys next Monday. Thank you.
Thank you.